All right. So today we're going to be taking a look at Dune Part 2. If anybody remembers, a while back we did a reaction video to Dune 1's trailer and then gave our insights. And then a couple times during our podcast that we do on Friday, 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern. And we talked about opinions and what we found we liked about it versus of the other versions of the movies and or the books that I've read. So what we're looking for here is how close did they stay to the material, and are they did they actually make the improvements required for the second chapter versus the second chapter of the original two versions of the movie to make it a success?
Okay, so when did this book came out? I forget. You might have told me back then, but do you remember when these books came out?
Hang on just a second, I'll let you know.
Um, and these books are expansive. They're like almost like Lord of the Rings, very big books, or they're thick chunkers.
Okay, so the original Dune book was released in 1965. Children of Dune was 76. You had Dune Messiah was 69. Yeah, so the original Dune was in 65 according to this.
Okay, so they have been thinking about space and telling a story of other planet and oh man, that's actually way older than I thought it would. So they've been dreaming about this kind of universe for a long time in the books, and so this has, I would say, if being that how old it is, a very large fan base of people that are invested in
It's
this
it
books.
was very large when it originally come out. It dwindled down and got very narrow when they started making the movies because people felt like the movies weren't doing justice to the original source material. However, I think it started picking back up because the last one they did, in my opinion, has been the best version on film that they've done so far.
Yeah, it was probably like it became niche, but then they made the '90s movie of it, which was I got it wrong when we first did the review on it. I have to say it was Sean Connery, but it wasn't that one. It was the guy that played Professor X and played one of the captains in the Star Trek movies. Um, maybe I know he's a bald headed guy. That's all I
Yeah, it
remember.
was Patrick Stewart
Yeah, Patrick Stewart.
was in one of them. So they've done two different versions prior to this of the movie.
Hmm.
Um, so it depends on which one you're looking at, which one you're talking about. They all differ slightly. All different. Both of them had different actors. Um, I don't remember which one of them is. Which one of them deviated quite heavily on like the appearance of the primary character, or way he looked.
Yeah, yeah.
He was always depicted as having, longish dark hair and more of a thin build.
Hmm.
Whereas in one version of the movies, they made him more muscular with like a reddish auburn hair that was kind of crop topped, you know?
Yeah, like back in those days, it was like if it was didn't have a muscle bound strong man as a leading role, it wouldn't do very good. But then again, like maybe movie developers have been wanting to make a good movie of these books for a long time, and me and you both agreed. Though I never read the books, the first version of this movie was awesome. The music was.
Yeah, chapter one of this rendition of it was by far the best version on film of Dune that I've seen.
Yeah, it was critically acclaimed. There was everybody was talking about it. Everybody was saying it was good. The music, the sounds, the everything, but it left on such a point where I was going, "Baby, once more." I was like, "God give it!" But you knew where it was going, and this is a continuation of that story. It's pretty much part two of part one. And there's if this movie does well, this would be a whole sweet sequel of this movie's that just gonna give keep on giving for years to come because it's gonna take years to make it. So let's hope that they do good. Let's check this trailer out. Give us our thoughts. Will this movie? Let's start from the very beginning. Would this be a movie that you go to the theaters to see?
Absolutely, this is my pick for the year.
This is your pick for the year. I will probably wait for you to say. and then I'll get her judge on it. If not, I will be seeing this in some capacity. I will be seeing it, but I will say this is a movie that if you do go see it, you probably want to see it in the theaters because the sound will be emerging, and you want that emergent sound so you can really get a feel of what is happening in each scene. Though music can be very loud, the music is also very good. You can't ignore that. All right, so let's go. Let's see it out and leave your thoughts and your opinions down below if you're going to be watching this in theaters or not.
It's okay. I'm here. I'm here. It's been a while since you've had one of those nightmares. Tell me, what was it about?
It's only fragments. Nothing's clear.
Okay, so we can see his eyes are already taking on the blue hue, which I don't think it was very prevalent in the first movie.
No, at this point, he's been exposed to the spice that's out in the dunes so long that it's starting to take on that Fremen blue color.
Yeah, and we see here like there's obviously still coming on the worm collar where they're trying to get his attention, and then the big scene of what looks like it's gonna be a war of combating sides. This game is or not game, sorry, movie.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Duke's people versus Paul and the Fremen and what's left of Paul's family's people.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's clear. You've been fighting the Harkonnens for decades.
How'd they come out of set? It's still so
My
cool.
family's been fighting them for centuries.
Your blood comes from dukes and great houses. Here, we're equal. What we do.
The outfits in this things always give such an air of not just nobility, but also just like it's almost otherworldly. And I do do say they do a good job of not making it feel like you wouldn't see this in your everyday people. You wouldn't walk down the street and see this on somebody. This is not
No.
practical. This is not even very much elegant looking. This is just like somebody just showing off that what they're worth. Almost empress looking, I would say. Like this looks like an emperor.
It's a status symbol.
Yeah, it's a showing off like, hey, I have all these things to do this lavish and almost ridiculous outfits, and it does give a good air of it. And then you go back to the regular people, and you can just see they're just people. They're just people combat. They think of what they had, what they have to wear and use.
How do I survive, and how does my clothing help me survive?
Yeah, that's all. They're practical clothing. They ain't worried about trying to look cool.
Equal. What we do for the benefit of all.
It's a lot of people.
Well, I'd very much like to be equal to you.
Maybe I'll show you the way.
Deal with this prophet.
Oh, they got him in a movie?
Walking.
They got Christopher Walken's. Okay. As long as Christopher Walken's don't play Christopher Walken's, you know what I'm saying? I'm totally down for this. I will say this. Another movie actor said this in the guy that played Witcher, and I'm kind of hoping they don't do this in the movie. I don't mind romance in a movie. But he said, you know, sex in movies are just kind of like they have no purpose, no use for it. And I'm hoping there's not a lot of that in this movie. I want them to kind of stick to the movie, have the romance, but don't put like the scenes in it. We don't need it.
Well, I mean, I hate to burst your bubble. There has to be at least one scene because that one scene is what kicks off one of his premonitions that he has to have for certain things to happen.
Oh, so the book, like during it, he has a premonition?
Or because of it.
Okay,
Not necessarily during it, but,
but-
it has to happen.
but say if he has a nut and then has a premonition, I'm gonna laugh so hard. Oh God, oh God. That would be so funny. But I know, okay, so Christopher Walken's in this movie. I am totally down. I love Christopher Walken, but
If I remember correctly, Christopher Walken is going to be playing the Emperor, the guy that sent their family to Dune to take over, and then allowed the Harkonnens to attack them and kill them.
so Christopher Walken is actually played the main bad guy.
I think so, because I think what the deal was is the emperor feared Paul's family growing garnering support from the other houses and seeing it as a potential threat to his house. So he couldn't act outright because then it would look bad on him. So he gave him a promotion to
Mm.
head up and run the facilities and stuff on uh on Dune, and then he's let the Harkonnens. He just kind of like turned his eye, away from it, and let the Harkonnens go in and assassinate him for him.
Okay, so I still can't get over the fact that knowing that he might. You didn't, okay? Second thought. Can you see his eyebrows? Because I can't.
No,
Did it shave his eyebrows? I know how that feels. Still him as a bad guy. Okay, I think you play a good bad guy, little
he's played
mafia.
a bunch of good bad guys. I mean, if you haven't seen it, you should definitely watch the Prophecy series, because he plays a very good bad guy, at least in the first one. I'm not sure about the second one.
Okay, okay.
The Sussex.
Fade Rother. He's psychotic.
Why is the bald guy always the bad guy?
Well, if I remember right, that is going to be you remember the Batista character from the first one?
Yeah, that's his
That is going to be his cousin.
his cousin.
Um
Okay.
that cousin there is supposed to be the best knife fighter in the galaxy, if you understand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um so he is a little psychotic and has no problem killing anybody at all.
Yeah,
Um
Clinton, this bystander just chilling here, just straight up murders her. That's not cool. That's a suck.
I see possible futures all at once. And in so many futures, our enemies.
But the Batista still alive in this one too?
yeah, the Batista character is still alive.
I bet I don't remember him dying in the first one.
Nope.
Prevail. But I do see a way. There is a narrow way through.
Narrow way? I'm sorry, if you get those things on it, you already told me what's gonna happen, but those things right there are tide changers. No knives will kill those things.
To you. Do you believe me?
This is a form of power that our world has not yet seen. The ultimate power.
Okay, so what is with this people? This the same people that are doing the little
Okay,
like cults?
those are the you remember the order that his mother was a part of that tested him in the first one?
Yeah.
That's the same group, and they're telling her about the prophecy pertaining to Paul and that he possesses a power that they've never seen before, because historically only females had this ability. So
Mm-hmm.
now you're putting it inside of a man. That's never happened before, and they're kind of scared, honestly, of
Mm.
what might happen.
Yeah, it seems like I've been okay, just a side thing. I watched I think it's like a Tenchi Muyo spinoff where an alternate dimension of people had the technology, but only women could use the technology, and the main character, which is a guy, just so happened to be able to use the technology as well, but he was able to go past or beyond the normal standard of what normal people could use it, normal women could use it. I mean, like this is the same thing. That's the same concept. Though this is older than Tenchi Muyo, so like I can't say they one took from another. I'm pretty sure Tenchi took from this. Um, okay, but at the same time, it's for those who maybe not being close to Dune. Is this power more akin to the light side, or is this?
It's not really a light side or a dark side. This is literally dependent upon how
Or the Force?
person
Sorry, the
uses
Force.
it. Because it's not that it gives him the ability to do like force push or lightning or any of that. It is quite literally he has the ability to see multiple outcomes in the timeline all at one time.
Mm.
So for example, let's say in a timeline you can have three different things could possibly happen in that timeline. He can see all three of them at once.
And he can choose which one favors him the most.
Right. That kind of a situation.
Okay, I could have sworn like the first one, he kind of mind controlled the one guy on the ship, with his little like his deep.
Oh, that was the voice, yes, and that is a trained technique. And granted, only females of that order could do it, but because of his kinship to that, and him being the only male so far, yes, he can still use it. It's called the voice, but it's not the same. I wouldn't say it's so much as a power as he has the ability to resonate his voice at frequencies that cause people to
affects the mind.
Yeah, it affects them.
Okay. I thought it was like just like some Jedi, you know, wave the hand. This is not the androids you're looking for. In this case, let me off this ship. All right, let's keep it going on.
I want you to know I will love you as long as I breathe.
You will never lose me as long as you stay who you are.
Consider what you're about to do, Paul Atreides.
Yeah, there he goes using that voice. The thoom. The music.
Yeah, he aimed that at probably the head mother of the order. So if he made her back up, yeah, that's a sign.
Yeah, that's a wake up call. And
we're at the verge of him fixing to go full bloom.
Yeah. I'm noticing a lot of whispering between him and the other people. So I guess they're always trying to be just quiet enough so somebody can't pick up on their voice. I feel like they're whispering a lot. They're not really just like talking like me and you, right? Where voice can have a variable of sounds, but then that says like a boom.
Remember, they're on a planet covered by sand, inhabited by giant ass worms that go to vibrations.
Oh yeah, true. I'm sure when he says silence, that worm's gonna be like, "Up, Daddy calling." But okay, so this trailer's music very bombastic, a lot of sounds, a lot of explosions. It is a war, so that makes sense. But this trailer's definitely getting you hyped for it. I have to say that.
This prophecy is how they enslave us!
Always forget about the upgrade scaling.
You are not prepared for what is to come.
Dune Part 2. When's it coming out? March 1st. Okay, so that was a little bit. Okay, so the movies so far we've been watching are been a little spread out. PG-13, even though that was a very small bracket, which they had a little bit bigger bracket, so they are aiming for the people. Seekers of strong violence, some suggestion or suggestive materials, and brief strong language. Brief strong language? Okay.
Meaning they only use strong language briefly.
Yeah, very like once or twice. Okay. So they are going for a larger audience. It's made by Warner Brothers, so and Legacy. But Warner Brothers and University are kind of I don't are they one? I don't really know at this point. I don't know what studio is working.
No, they're just a collab. They collaborate. They sign They signed a contract, so they do a lot of collaboration between each other. But I'm sure Warner Brothers probably has a contract with Legendary too, because Legendary does a lot of action films and or action horror films.
Okay, so this would be your movie, your choices to go see this one. The trailer, I think they did a very good job. The music has always been very nice, very pleasant.
I'm ready because there is. I won't say a name, and it didn't show in the trailer, but there is anticipation that a character thought to be dead will return, and that's indicative of the actual book. So if they do that, that'll be amazing.
Okay. I have a lot of hope for this movie. Again, this movie I feel like it's a gift to keep on giving. It's very much of a movie that anyone can watch and can enjoy. It will not only heighten the book, but also will heighten the production of just making good stories, just making good and adventures that people can join along and going into, as long as they stick to the source. And I know you're just like probably many others. Don't mess with the source. Just keep on doing what you did the first one, and you have fans to come. Do you have any worries about this movie? Like anything that could?
I honestly do not. I
You know,
don't.
yeah.
I'm very confident.
I've heard some people say other places they're a little worried, but I think some people just say that just so they can go, oh look, I was right, at the end, rather than just saying I think it's be good and then be wrong, right? They'd rather be
Yep.
wrong and that they thought it would be terrible than being wrong that it was the opposite.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go see this movie. I don't know if the movie theaters, because she says for it, we're going, but I think this movie would be a great one to see in the theaters because of the ambiance and the
I
the
agree.
the screen and the sounds, all that stuff. So yeah, if you're gonna see this movie in the theaters, if you're gonna see it with your family, you're gonna see it by yourself. What you're excited about it, leave down below and leave a comment. As always, be sure to share and like the video. And as always, have a good day, have a good night, have a good life. Much love, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.